Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series The Burning Ones. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 27, 4 of 5. What do you mean it's gone? I mean, Mark said, the Fade ship just took off right around the time that you had your seizure. It's hundreds of thousands of clicks out now. If Nora Carine was on board like you suspected, she could be in a different sector by now. This is my fault, I said, and sunk back into my chair. If I hadn't gone down, we would have been able to follow. No, my backup was delayed, Mark explained. We're supposed to get at least one more warlock in addition to Zevi and Antonio. Antonio just took Lorenzo back to Earth. Zevi is still here, while the elite strike team that was coming to help was diverted en route. What is more important than this? Possibly more of this, Mark said somberly. There was a good human settlement one sector over in charted space. We got scattered reports of violence and arson. Then it went dark. Omega team changed course and we haven't heard from them. One sector over, I tossed the blankets Qzaf had insisted I borrow and utilize for my swift recovery. I need to get back to my room. Doc said that you should stay here in sickbay. Mark caught my arm and steadied me. Maybe you should listen. Not happening, Mr. Terro. Now be a gentleman and help me get there without busting my beak. As you command, my lady. Mark's accent always seemed more pronounced when he was amused. It didn't take long to get back. With every step, my balance and strength returned to me. By the time Mark and I were at my door, I was walking unaided. Hey there, Agent G, Allison said. As I entered the room, she had a black eye. What happened to you? Did I? Oh, this. Allison pointed to her bruised face. No. I had a minor disagreement with V.E. while you were unconscious. She felt compelled to defend you, since I put you in the hospital. Qzaf also attempted to defend your honor, but someone stepped on his tentacles and he spent the rest of the scuffle spinning in circles, mispronouncing all the random human vocabulary that he had accumulated. They know it wasn't your fault, right? I asked and sat down on my bed. Oh yeah, totally. We're all good now, Allison scoffed nonchalantly. It's actually going to make a hilarious story back home. How so? I got into a fight with a space fox and a Pac-Man squid thing because of another fight with my roommate, who was a super spice bird lady. Allison giggled and added, This is going to be an epic story. It was pretty awesome, Mark said. I might or might not have footage I accidentally recorded with my implant. Ooh, Allison giggled. I need a copy. I'd totally pay you for it. I'll send it to you later, Mark said. Now, why did we come back here? There's a box hidden under my bed. Can you get it? Is it a super spy box? Allison dove under the bed. I want to see. Don't open it, Mark and I both shouted. Allison startled and hit her head. Okay. Not going to open it. She crawled out of my box and asked, Will it self-destruct if someone unauthorized tries to get in? No. I accepted the box and set it aside. But it will spray your face with a toxic dye-laden cloud of gas. It's not pretty. You? All right. I stood with the box under my arm. Time for part 2. Mr. Terror, we're going back to your place. Hey, I want to see, Allison moaned disappointedly. Mark glared/smiled at her for some reason. Oh, wait, no, you. Not that. Allison punched Mark on the shoulder. I want to see her secret box. Allison closed her eyes and shook her head. I'm going to stop now. Yeah. I'm done. Probably best, Mark said with a quiet chuckle and walked out of the room with me. Allison stuck her head out the door and shouted after us. You did that on purpose, Mark Terro. You have a filthy mind. I said nothing. That was all you, lass. Mark waved a hand over his shoulder. Ha! If I had a dirty mind, Mr. Terro, I'd say that you look fantastic from this angle. Mark swung his hand around and slapped his hindquarters as we rounded the corner. I'm pretty sure I heard Allison make a really strange squealing sound as we left her sight. I don't understand, I admitted. Was that humor or a mating ritual? Well, I don't think of it like that. Mark scratched the tissue on his face where the organic and synthetic met. But I suppose that you could say it was a little bit of both. You attempt to mate without actually thinking about mating. It's just kind of accidentally happens. Once again, Chief Gaia, Mark said, slightly unsteadily. I believe that you may be right. That's so strange. Why so? Mark asked. On Seraph, most of my people mate for life, I explained. They start young, and they tend to stick together. But not you. I suppose I kind of accidentally mated with the military. I guess I'm too old now. There are a lot of humans who feel that way, and then they decide to start living their lives. Suddenly, in their middle age, they find love and start an entire new chapter they never dreamed they would have. Don't give up too soon. Now keep that in mind, I said. Mark and I walked the rest of the way in silence. When we came to the entrance of the sheepdog's quarters, I could hear the heated discussion taking place. No, Breaker said. If Kokorin got into a fight with a golem, the Kokorin would totally win, man. There is no contest here. No, the golem cannot be harmed, Zevi said. It would win it. It would turn into a big old lump of brick if Kokorin spits lava on its face. Okay, Mark said as he and I walked into the room. So we've moved on from Caveman versus Astronaut and made it all the way up to Kokorin versus Wait. What planet is a golem from? Prague, Zevi said. At the same time, Breaker shouted, Nowhere! It's fake, man. All right, well, I'm glad that you are spending your free time so productively. Mark shut the door and pointed to the large table in the center of the room. It was originally a spare conference room, but the sheepdogs had made it their home and base of operations. Time to get back to work. I would like to point out, Don pulled a chair away from the table and motioned for me to sit, that I was reading a book in a soothing, calm environment, enriching my mind. Is that because you made Breaker cry the last time that you joined in on one of his this or that sessions? Sivy asked as she sat down with the laptop. Hey, shut your hole, Clementine, Breaker pointed accusingly at Sivy and took his seat. I was drinking vodka, and you all know that shit straight up is depressing. And yeah, so what if I did? All right, pipe down. Mark and Zevi sat down, and he pointed to me. The chief has something she needs to share with us. It is important enough to get her out of bed, so eyes front and listen. Before you start, Don said, has there been any word on the reinforcements coming in from Seraph? I thought they would be here by now. That's actually why I am here, I said, and opened the box with my code. They aren't coming. The more you guys get. I'm waiting for the punchline, Breaker said. Unfortunately, my government views sending aid as too risky to homeworld security. Mark unfolded his hands and gestured slowly in the air. Because there are 5 members of the L team. Hold up, Sivy said, her face white, her eyes were wide, and her hand was shaking. 4 owls died. Under Stella de Foca. If there is another one still out there, we have to find them. We can't just leave them to the enemy. Your government can't, They can't do that. Breaker put a comforting hand on her shoulder. Sivy took a deep breath. I do not think that this is what my friend is saying, Sivy said. I sighed. I realized that this is a lot now. It was a contagious human habit. I opened the box. Sivy, can you grab this and put it out for everyone? Yeah, Sivy had collected herself and transferred the data to the central hollow projector on the table. It flashed to life and displayed the charts of the nearest mapped system. This is the missing lieutenant's last known position. This data was found last week. Great, let's start up and go get them, Sivy said, enthusiastically. She started to stand, but Mark waved her back down into a seat. The lieutenant has been disavowed by my government. They believe that he has turned and is, most likely working with Karine. I know this system. Zevi zoomed the map in on the planet. This is where... Mark leaned in. That's where a Raegar team was just deployed. The human guardians all snapped to attention at the same time. I had forgotten that they were in the room with us. Mark, Zevi, and I all noticed. Zevi's communication equipment buzzed and hummed in the corner. It was waking up from standby mode. Mayday! Mayday! RAR-17. Do you copy? End of chapter.
I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Cold War Boomerwaffen, Sevaren Serberous, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Casper Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Sevaren Serberous. Thank you very much.